What do I mean? Have a product, have a service that people can pay for. The difference between you as a non-profit and a for-profit organization should be the fact that when you make money, you don't make money to share the profit. You make money to give back into the society by impacting life. Hear me, hear me. If you run a social enterprise, just focusing on grant alone, it cannot. And I think Sister Esther is here, or possibly listening to us. She has a very good idea, bringing you guys together, doing fantastically well, and I respect her for what she's doing. And that is why I'm here, because of my love for her and my support for her. But let me say that this social enterprise she's running needs to start thinking of a product or a service that she can offer that people can pay for. This is the only way this social enterprise is going to be sustainable. If it's going to depend on grants and depends on our personal money to run the social enterprise, it will not be sustainable and it will not go beyond her. It means that the business will not run beyond her, meaning that the resources to run this enterprise is strictly going to be focused on her network. If she removes her network off, then the enterprise cannot survive. That is not a sustainable model to run a social enterprise in the 21st century. So I'm trying to deal with your minds, young people. When you are innovating, I have applied some innovation before with the social enterprise idea on tourism. I got to the final, the semi-final, but the reason why I was screened out is because they asked me, how do you intend to generate money to make this organization sustainable? I told them, number one, from government. I'll get funds from government. Number two, I have friends. Number four, I'll raise money by trying to ask people support. They kicked me out. Later, they told me, we can't go further with you because your model is not sustainable. They said, you need to start thinking of what you want to run, what unique problem is it solving, who is paying for it, who is paying for it. Somebody must be paying for it to be sustainable. So is either you start thinking of a training, you subsidize training, but people have to pay because you need to make money to make the organization sustainable. The fact that it's a social enterprise does not mean that it does not need funding, because you employ people for people to work for you. If people are going to work for you at the end of the month, you don't tell them thank you and you tell them to go home. If you are going to employ the best brains to work for you, you need to pay them. So telling the young people, in innovating, you need to ask yourself, even if how do you intend to make money? How is this service? These are questions you need to ask yourself. You need to make money to make it to be sustainable. If there is no money coming in, that organization cannot outlive the founder. The founder can use his or her network to be able to gather things, but such an organization cannot outlive the founder. Am I speaking to us this evening? And I hope you are following me. All right, so let's look at another one. It's in the area of marketing. Areas you can innovate on is marketing. You know, look at the way marketing is being done. Is there a better way of doing it? There are ways people are trying to sell things to you and you don't buy. Can you innovate? Can you think of a better way to market? All right, people like, you know, we have like things like email marketing. This was before. Marketing is about approaching people and say, come and buy, this is it. Some people that are shy cannot market. But with the advent of email marketing, anybody can become a good marketer if you know how to write content. Nobody needs to see you for you to sell to them. You can sell to people from front of your laptop. You can sell to people through bulk SMS. All right? So can we still innovate? These are areas people have innovated on. Social media. People have become millionaires from social media. We have social media influencers. Can you start thinking? Can you become an influencer in an industry? Think. We have so many fashion influencers. Can you become a waste influencer talking about waste? Can you become a teenager influencer? Can you become a youth influencer? Can you become a veg influencer where you talk about vegetable and natural food and stuff like that? Can you become an influencer on girl matters? I don't know. I'm just giving you an example that you can become an influencer in something. Can you become an influencer in something? Can you become an influencer in talking about tech products? Can you become an influencer in talking about adverts? You come and analyze adverts to talk about bad adverts and good adverts. Can you think of that? Can you come up with something? Because when you make a name on social media, people can pay you millions of naira just to do a campaign for their product. Are you following me? Some people have 100,000 followers on Instagram. People prefer to pay them and pay some radio stations because some radio stations does not even have up to 50,000 people listening to them at a time. Some radio stations do not have customers that are loyal to them. But people like Wodi Arole, people like different influencers like that. These are people in certain industry. People like Adebola Williams, they have voice. So find an industry, find a niche. Can you innovate around something? Can you think of television? Is there a television program you can innovate to bring something that is not in existence? We have the likes of who wants to be a millionaire in those days. It kept glued to the television, but it's no longer in existence. What can you think of? Somebody thought of Big Brother Naija. I'm not a fan of Big Brother Naija because I don't learn anything from it. I actually don't watch it because I feel it's a waste of time. All right, but if you are watching it, I'm not against you and I'm not saying it's bad. It depends on the angle you are looking at things from. Maybe you want to be a model, or you want to be a fashion person. You want BB Naija so that you get fashion ideas. Good for you. Watch it well, fashion idea and get out. But possibly it's not something that interests me, so I really don't create time to watch it. So, but can you think of a TV program that will educate people? Can you think of a TV program that will solve a problem? Can you think of it? Many a times people go to police stations and you find out that police are requesting for money. They need to submit a complaint. Police are requesting for money. Is there a way you can solve that problem? Can you think of a program that will be bringing police people? I don't know. Just think of something. You need to sit to think. Police people are collecting money on the road. Do you pass and it annoys you? Can you think of something? Can you think of a platform where people can report such? Can you think of technologies that is going to review that? I don't know, but you need to create, you need to be innovative. These are problems we are facing around the world. Security problems everywhere. Can you think of something? Some people, their account have been hacked. Their money has been transferred into their account. Can you think of a solution that can help them bring that money back? You need to start thinking. All right, so radio is there. There's adventure of online radio. Is there a radio program you can come up with? Is there a new radio you can come up? Let's look at something like Brilla FM. Look at Brilla FM. Brilla FM is focused on sports. All right, so there is radio station everywhere. There are about 1,000 plus radio stations in Nigeria. So the question is that why should I start another radio station when there are so many radio stations? So Brilla thought of that and said, okay, fantastic. Let me come up with a radio station that is focused on sport. Because if I ask many of us here, most of us are football fans. We love one club or the other. I'm also a football fan. I'm a Liverpool fan. So, I mean, I love football. I love to watch football. I love to hear football. For example, a lot is going on about Messi now. Which club is Messi going to? Is Messi going to leave Barca? It's a big subject matter of discussion. People are ready to hear. So Brilla FM is focused on sport. That is the niche they have carved for themselves. What they did is something new. Yeah, radio has been in existence, but they crafted an industry for themselves by finding a niche. That is what I talk about niche marketing. Find a niche for whatever you are doing. So Brilla has got a market out for themselves by just focusing on sports. Have you heard of traffic radio in Lagos? They give updates on the situation of traffic situations. Let me take you to order. They give updates on situation of traffic situation in Lagos. There are different radio stations, but I tell you, anytime you are walking around, you are in the car, a private car in Lagos, almost a lot of times people actually are always on traffic radio. Why? Because Lagos is faced with traffic situation. If you come and do traffic radio in Ibadan, it won't sell. Because Ibadan does not have too many issues with traffic or that. But Lagos have issues with traffic. And traffic radio has a big market. Right? So what they did was not new. Not that there was no radio before, but they created something unique by solving a problem. That is something you need to start looking at. Can you think of something? People innovate around social issues. We have things like waste. Waste is a big problem in Ibadan. Different categories of waste. We have a company called Recyclers, and you can see them here. This company innovated around waste solution in Ekpe. You know what they do? Okay, I think I have an assignment on that, so I won't talk too much. I want you to learn a little bit about Recycler. It's a company in Nigeria, and they are doing fantastically well in trying to solve waste issues around Lagos. So they innovated by creating a recycling firm that can solve waste problem, picking waste, and they give you value back for your waste. I say they collect waste from you, they pay you, or they accrue the points and give you certain household items at the end of the day from it. These are crazy innovations, solving problems, providing money, and providing jobs. Can you innovate around waste? Can you innovate around waste, solid waste? Have you heard of insect farming? Insect farming, people are creating waste from food waste by rearing insects that will now be used as feed for poultry and aquaculture. Have you heard of insect farming? Go online, watch videos about insect farming or something like that. You rear insects from waste that can be sold to poultry farmers and people into aquaculture that can be used as feed for their birds and for their fishes. Illiteracy is a big problem. Can you think of a problem of how you can address this problem, where you can give more people access to education for them to go to school? And when I talk about education, I don't just mean going to the university or going to secondary school. It could be vocational training. What Sister Esther is also doing is part of education. She's trying to take you to see how to think beyond your classroom, to tell you that the things you acquire in the classroom is not enough to make you successful. You need to think beyond the classroom. You need to think beyond the classroom. And that is why most of the great innovators, they were not people that have university degrees. That does not mean I'm saying it's not good to go to school. Please go to school and ensure you go to school. But see beyond the classroom. That is what I'm trying to say. Let your education not be based on reading and cramming to pour. Go beyond cramming. Understand what you are being taught. Go to the internet. Look at how you can apply things. We learn mathematics a lot of times, and mathematics to us is just about solving equations. No, but mathematics in the real sense is about solving problems. Engineering is about solving problems. Mathematics is to help us create formulas that is going to solve some problems. When we hear of the y, the x, most times we just think of it as, oh, integration, differentiation, and others. In advanced nations, they are using that to solve crazy problems. They are using that to solve strategic problems and to attend to strategic issues. Can you think of that? Child abuse is a problem. People are innovating to solve child abuse. What can you create that can help solve child abuse? Is somebody following me this evening? I have a question for you. What are some of the areas that need innovation in Nigeria? Let me hear you. What are some of the, okay, we still have some little time. Yeah. What are some of the areas that you think need innovations in Nigeria? Let me hear. I've listed a few for you, but I would love to hear from you. What are some of the areas you think also need innovation in Nigeria? Somebody talk to me.
Almost everything needs innovation in Nigeria. Almost everything needs innovation in Nigeria.
What's that?
Almost everything. Yeah, but let me hear you. Which industry? Which niche? Which one? Almost everything can need, but almost everything is not an answer.
The medical section needs innovation. The medical needs innovation. The education system in Nigeria needs innovation.
What kind of innovation do you think the medical sector needs?
I think most of the economic. I think they need
educational sector need currently.
Okay, the educational sector needs more of a how do I put it? More of a more of a video learning, sir.
New learning. Thank you. New learning. Thank you.
More of because it is like picture creates more. It gives more information to the mind than just reading it like that. And in the medical line, it needs more of. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
This is not good. Okay. The medical needs more of attention in terms of emergencies and quick.
Quick response. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate your contribution. And before another person comes up, let me just attend to a few of the things he said. You know, the medical sector, we need innovations around quick response. At times, they ask you, which industry does Nigeria need innovation? We say almost every industry. But you see, one of the things we need to do is to sometimes sit to think. Many a times, we don't sit to think. We don't sit to brood over problem. We don't see problem with the problem. And that was why I needed to challenge his mind. Because it's easier everywhere needs innovation. But which industry? What innovation do we think we need? Because we have things already in place. How better can we make them? So you see, when you begin to ask questions like this, you begin to dare your thinking capability, and you begin to think. Let's improve in our learning capacity. From what he said now, he's saying that visuals are important. Yes. You see, let me say this might be a business idea for somebody, and this is something I also do part-time in terms of tourism. Now, you find out that educational traveling is dying. People don't go on excursion. Some people are studying geology. They have never visited rock before. Some people are studying geology. They have never gone to the field to see how any of this rock look before. Some people are studying history and international relations or tourism management, and they have not traveled to any tourist attraction before. All they are learning is practical. So some people are learning agricultural science. Actually, they graduate as graduates, and you see they carry the certificate and say, hello, let me meet you. My name is Chukudi. I'm a student. I'm a graduate of UR. I study agricultural science, and I have a first class in agriculture. And they say, well done, congratulations. God bless you on your first class. And they take him to the field. Oh yeah, Oga first class. Let's see, how can we do this thing to this bed? How can we put light here? How can we make this bed not to die but to survive? What feed can we give them? And he cannot answer any question. So we need new systems. We need new systems, practical systems of learning. We need, oh God, we need systems whereby some companies can be located in the university. I'm telling you, we need where as UI is, where they have a lot of land. Can they give such land to to some organizations to have industries there? Can we have industries in schools like UI FUTA? And students can even do IT there. Students can do side gig there, side jobs. All right? Students side jobs there where they can make some little pocket money for themselves. Students can go there weekend and work for 5 hours and they are paying 500 or 1,000. Can we have such innovation? Can we have such innovation? And then that will spoil our learning culture. We begin to learn and we are learning practically. A student study agri science, he cannot find a job. He does not struggle trying to set up a fish farm. He does not struggle trying to set up a poultry. He does not struggle trying to set up a piggery. He does not struggle trying to set up a mini greenhouse that he can do some little vegetable farming there. But the reason why we have a lot of unemployment indeed is because of our educational sector. Can we have somebody come up with such solution? Can we have somebody come up with solutions that are going to solve the issue of no excursion, people not learning practically, people not going to feed? Can you create a business where you begin to do tours and trips for students, basically students? Just your company is just focused on educational tourism. We don't have such companies really in existence in Nigeria. I started working on that a little bit, trying to create educational tours that people are going to learn from. You don't just travel for fun, but you travel to learn and to educate your mind. Can we think of something like that? Can an organization come up with that? These are questions to ask. People are telling you about traveling industry, there's money there, but you cannot go there and be like anybody. Can you compete with Wakana? Can you compete with Travel Starter? Do you have such kind of money? You don't have it. You have such kind of relationship, you don't have it. But can you innovate? Can your traveling focus on something? Can your traveling focus on Christians? You organize pilgrimage tour and you begin to organize tour to Babalola Prayer Mountain, where Babalola grew up, where Oyedepo is from, where Daddy Gio is from, Open Heaven's House. Is that where you want to focus your own tour? Can you organize a tour where it's a prayer tour but yet a tour where you take people to strategic mountains, places in Edo where Apostle Ayo Babalola prayed and they can still find his feet there? Can you take people on such tour? They are just focused on Christian religious tour for pastors, you know, and for church workers. Can you think of something? This is very important. All right. So what are some you know, I've been speaking and I've been dishing down ideas and problems we need to look into, and then it's for you to innovate. Can somebody still talk to me before we move to the next slide? What are some of the areas that we need innovation in Nigeria? Somebody talk to me. One more person. One more person.
We need innovation in the power sector of Nigeria. We need channels through which we can get constant yet affordable power supply to deal with this problem in Nigeria. It's a general problem most of the time. So that's one sector we need innovation.
Okay, thank you, Grace. Thank you so much. Yeah, Grace had a very good point there. Indeed, the power sector is calling for an urgent need. So can we have people that can innovate, that can come up with solar as an alternative? Can we have people that can come up with solutions, wind turbines that can produce electricity for Nigeria? Can we have people that can look for biomass? You can generate electricity from waste. There are technologies available like that now. Can we have people that can come up with such level of innovation? You see, if we can fix the power sector in Nigeria, it will bring a lot of development to this country. A company like Dunlop, they left Nigeria for Ghana just because of electricity. Let me tell you something. I traveled to Togo at the time, and I'm still hearing Nigeria is still the one supplying Togo light. I don't know how true it is. But when I got to Togo, the hotel that I was staying, they were about taking light, taking the light was about going up just for like 1 hour, 30 minutes. They had to announce to us. They had to announce to us in Togo that the light will be going up at so-so time and to so-so time because of major repair. And they are going to bring the light back. And they told us the time they'll be taking off the light. But That is not happening in Nigeria. That is a small country like Togo. Togo is not bigger than Lagos. So very small country, but with such kind of structure. Where have we gotten it wrong in this country? We need to innovate. We need to start thinking of solutions. Now, the question is that somebody will be saying, but Mr. Vic, how do I solve this whole Nigeria problem? Start from where you are. There is a young guy in Malawi that I was reading about him. He's from a rural community in the city of Malawi. He loves going to the state library, so he started going to the state library to read. And as he was going, he came across wind energy. He started reading deeply about it. This young guy of 13 created energy source that his community was using to power the engines that they use in grinding their flour in their community. The world got to hear about him, and they gave him scholarship. He's currently in the US for both his degree, studying something on her. So what can you do? You don't need to innovate for the whole of Nigeria. Innovate for your family. Innovate for your community. What can you do that can generate power in your house alone? If you can do it for your house alone, it means that you can multiply that effect and do it also beyond your own, beyond your house alone. You take it to your street, and then it gets to Nigeria. I'll be bringing it to a close very soon, so that we can talk a little bit and prepare again for the next class. I want to pause today's section here because we have used about 1 hour 30 minutes already, and the class is to be for 1 hour 45 minutes. But this is my challenge to us today. My aim for today's class was to introduce us to innovation, introduce us to what innovation is about, to talk to us about the concept of innovation, key things you need to understand when it comes to innovation. An idea, it must add value, means it must solve a problem. It must actually happen, it must become a reality. An idea. We move ahead to look, and some people share their story with me on something they are working on. I gave a few response to that. We look at areas to innovate, products. And I said you can innovate on any product. Look at an existing product, think of how to make it better. Process. What is, there are some processes. How can you help with making those processes swifter, with speed and better? Services. How can you make that service better? I mentioned Uber, I mentioned Kobo, I mentioned some dry cleaning services, I mentioned some pharmacies that are offering pharmaceutical services, how they decide to run for 24 hours. I spoke about some other technologies. I spoke about business model. I spoke about business model. I spoke about the non-profit and for-profit model. And I dwelled a bit in the non-profit model. And I spoke to you that anytime you are trying to create a non-profit model, ask yourself, what product are you selling? What service are you offering? When you have that, the only difference between you and a non-profit is that you are not doing it to make profit for investors and for profit sharing. You are doing it to make money, but to give back to the society. We're looking at some model, and that is why your assignment is focused on recyclers. We want to look at the model of recycler, what made it unique as a social enterprise, how they're able to sustain. They get grants, but yet they are not living by the grant alone. They have a way of earning to sustain. Marketing, we look at how people have innovated around marketing. Marketing has gone beyond knocking at people's door. Marketing has gone beyond you want to sell, and then you can't, how many people can you reach? So now you need to start looking at social media marketing for what you are doing. That lady operating as a fashion designer, what is your presence on Instagram? How are you building your Instagram followers? Are you using Canva and other tools to create some things? Then we spoke about the media, the television, the radio. What products, what programs can you come up with that are unique, that are going to solve problems? We need new inventions. The TV stations are becoming boring. They're not becoming attractive again. What can you do? What program can you bring that can keep people glued? We spoke about social issues like waste, illiteracy, child abuse. These are issues, and people are solving problems around some of those sectors. Then we came up to look at it where we discussed some further stuff. In our next class, we'll be looking at the different types of innovation. We'll be looking at incremental innovation, and we'll be looking at disruptive innovation. We'll be looking at some things like the Netflix, the Tesla. We'll be looking at incremental, like the Renew Cold Water Starch, Mount Zion Ministry, the Hungry Man Indomie. I'm trying to bring these are things you can relate with. These are things you know, but all they do was to rethink and see how to solve problems. All right, so we have gradually come to the end of. I hope it has spurred you up to think. I hope it has spurred you up not to be normal. I hope it has spurred you up not to remain the same. I hope it has spurred you up to the fact that in anything you need to do, you need to be different. You need to segment yourself. You need to find a niche. You need to be different from your packaging, from how you do things, from how you present things, from the problem you are solving. And I said to you, when you innovate, innovate to solve a problem that is in existence. Look at a problem that is in existence. Look for how you can solve that problem. That is really what innovation is all about. Either you make that product, oh, sorry, oh, I'm running, okay. So it's either you make that product new, or you create a new product, or it's actually a product that, you know, you just work on. All right. Let me have questions. Still have some time for questions. Can I have questions? Questions, please. Anybody with question? Yeah, anybody with question?
Questions?
Yeah, you have
I do not have a question.
Anybody with a question?
Oh, I mean,
Can you hear me? Anybody with question, please?
we can hear you, sir.
All right, anybody with question? All right, if there are no questions, I expect you to have questions. If there are no questions, anybody with a comment? Somebody is trying to talk, but I can't hear the person. I can hear you. I can hear you. Oh, somebody's making noise. Do we have a comment?